Hello, um, this is Renee. I am about 4.5, somewhere between 4.5 and 5 months on testosterone now. Um, so just a quick update. It's been a while since my last one. I think the last one I did was 3 months. So I apologize for not updating, at my 4 months, but I got I got really busy with school since I started back to school in September. So anyways, I'm doing good and just want to do a rundown of my changes, just to keep track. So start with physical changes. Pretty much more of the same. I've noticed that my voice, there's my cat's tail. I've noticed that my voice has started to drop a bit more noticeably, and that people in my life, classmates and friends and whatnot, are taking note of that, which feels really, really good and makes me really happy. And even just like hearing myself talk, it's coming from a different place, and it feels, can feel the different vibrations of it, and it feels awesome. I really like it. I still wanted to get deeper and be, I don't know, it's hard to tell, really. It's hard to hear myself because I don't know what I sound like. Maybe I'll get a better idea listening and watching this video, but I feel like I still want it to deepen more, but that the progress that it has made is fantastic. My shoulders definitely are broader. I couldn't be fucked to bind just to make this video since I already showered and got ready for bed. But other than the boobs, I think my shoulders have gotten broader again, and classmates have also taken note of that and been like, whoa, crazy, you totally like look beefy and big, and that's cool too, like that. I think my face shape has changed a bit more and gotten more square. Also, I've just felt like maybe my neck got bigger. I don't know what's happening exactly, but I feel like my body fat is starting to redistribute, and that I just kind of feel like a chubby adolescent. But that's okay. I feel like stuff's shifting around, but nothing's like found its home yet, so it's sort of like on the way. So that's kind of it for physical. For emotional changes, also I forgot to mention that I have been on 25 milligrams per week, so 50 milligrams every 2 weeks, which is like, I think, a more normal starting dose. So that's been really helping me with my mood and with everything in general, with like changes. Feels like it's made changes go faster. So I've been doing that for probably a month now. Yeah, probably not quite a month. I don't know. Thinking about it. Yeah, about a month. So I've noticed that I think that I get sleepy on the day that I do my shot. Like after I do my shot, maybe a few hours after, I'm like, I feel really tired. And then other than that, though, the next day or a couple days later, I feel like I have more energy, and that I even need less sleep than I used to. That I function better, not like better than I would if I got 8 hours, but function better with less sleep than I used to. I've been having some, like, irritability and some, like, anger stuff come up. But I don't know. It's hard to say whether that's really the testosterone or me, because I feel like that's not really something new for me. That I've always sort of dealt with that. So there's been less moodiness, I think, since I upped my dose to 25 milligrams, but I still definitely have some times where I have a hard time identifying what I'm feeling and, like, what my emotions are and what they're coming, or where they're coming from, like, whether it's just the situation or whether it's, like, testosterone and estrogen kind of, like, fighting for domination inside my body, and or if it has to do with my monthly cycles. I think that I stopped getting my period finally. I think that I was supposed to have gotten it by now, and I don't think that I'm getting it. So that is really fucking exciting and awesome. And I really hope I don't get it anymore. 'Cause that sucks. But yeah, I've been doing good since I started school. I think that going up to 25 milligrams has helped, and I think that being around my friends has really helped too. I have some really amazing friends who I go to school with, and I'm in a master's program for expressive arts therapy, so it's a really amazing group of people. So that's a good segue into talking about my transition in the social realm. My friends are super amazing, and they're having a big party for me tomorrow to celebrate my transition with a big ceremony and sort of ritual and very queer fashion, where we're gonna be, like, singing ridiculous songs, and, like, my friends are going to dance. They made up a dance to La Tigra Hot Topic, and they're gonna perform a dance for me that involves lots of ass shaking and is amazing. So I'm really excited about that, and I just can't say enough for the need to have support through this. I feel like I've really needed extra support because there are just some times where it's hard. I'm, like, thinking a lot about everything I'm going through and trying to figure it out, and it's really important to have good support system around you and friends who you can talk to. So my friends have been really great about calling me he, and people still kind of mess up a fair amount on pronouns. Some people do better than others, but and it does bum me out when people mess up, and not all the time, but it depends on the day, it depends on what else is happening, but it gets frustrating that people are, like, sometimes calling me sir, but I don't know. I think my gender is getting more ambiguous for people, and they're getting more, like, unsure, but I still think in where I live in San Francisco, people are so aware of the gender spectrum that they're like, I figured you out, you're a girl. I'm gonna call you she, or ma'am, or whatever. And it's really annoying. And I'm trying to have patience with that. But I read something really interesting just now doing internet research, and I came across this article where this guy was talking about how it's really interesting and just questioning why people default to she or female pronouns when you're like, there's nothing feminine about me, and yet, like, there's nothing inherently feminine and yet the default pronoun is always she rather than he, and I'm just why is that? Why why not go with he when, for all intents and purposes, I think I present way more masculine than feminine, and it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why that is or why people do that, but it's interesting to think about. So another thing, I'm gonna change my name. I've pretty much decided. I'm gonna change my name to Quinn. So my name is gonna be Quinn Renee. Renee will be my middle name, and I'll drop the second E, so it's the masculine form. But the name Quinn is feeling good to me, and my friends are seem to dig it and think that it fits me really well. And a neat story behind my choice of that name, because my great-great-grandfather came over here from Ireland on the orphan train and was adopted by the Peck family, my family, and so his last name was Quinn. So technically, you know, by bloodline, my last name should be Quinn. And one of my favorite family members, my aunt, who I'm really close to, and who's been a big supporter of me in the past, and I haven't actually come out to her yet, but anyway, she took that name as like a middle name, and the name Quinn, so I feel like me choosing that is kind of an homage to her as well. So then the last thing I wanted to talk about is that I need to come out to my parents, and I'm really, really, really anxious about it and really stressed. But it needs to happen real soon, because I'm starting to really notice changes. Other people are noticing changes in my voice. You know, I don't want to, like, look too much different or have been on T for, like, 6 months or 7 months by the time I tell them. I feel like I need to do it really soon. And also just for myself, like, I feel like I'm making things worse by leaving it hanging over my head and not knowing that I have to write this letter and send it. I've decided I'm going to write a letter.